Welcome to Keeper of the Mountain. Yeah, today our little bit is going to be something interesting, I hope. I got a delivery from O'Reilly's, and so now I got to open the box, find out what's in it, and put these parts on the car. And then the goal is to make a punch list. What I have yet left to do before I can start this engine up, because man, I'm getting anxious. I want to start this thing. It's getting exciting. That's just like a turning point in every project. When you first get to start that motor up, man, I am so looking forward to that. So let's get busy. All right, this is all we're getting done for today. We've got this, the manifolds in place. I don't have them completely secured. You can see that down here I don't have any bolts in, because I need the washers for them, and I gotta get everything in place and screwed down. I gotta cut the end of that stud off right there so that I can get the nut and the washer on that. I see these fat washers, I need a couple more of those. And I do have the temporary valve cover on there. That's going to be on there for running the engine and all the banging around I have to do. The copper one's going to go on when I'm all done. And see, I'm going to have dual exhaust. These are the exhaust manifolds off of a 306 fuel injected motor. Got to put the pulleys on the front. I'm probably not going to do that this time. Here on this side of the motor, the next thing I need to do is replace the oil filter right there. That's an old Fram that came on it when I got it. I just used it to keep the paint out of the inside of the engine. I didn't want to have to deal with that. I've got to put a fuel pump on there. I have to put the carburetor on, distributor cap, wires, new plugs. That's all going to happen on this trip, if I have anything to say about it. And we're going to be that much closer to running this bad boy. I'm going to wait to do the front end of the motor. I have to get the pulleys and everything cleaned up. I mean, the vibration damper is still kind of dirty, so I have to clean that up and get that on there. And that's pretty much it. I have this side cover. That's got to get bolted on there so it doesn't leak. Those two temporary covers there that are going to be replaced, although they look pretty good, but I don't think they're the right kind of paint to last. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. But after I get these parts done, then I've got to get the whole front end put together, mount the radiator in here, get the hoses hooked up, and then finish wiring the distributor, install the starter. We can start this thing up. We're not that far away. I'm looking forward to it. All right, let's see what's in here. Get this opened. I mean, I know what I ordered. But you order stuff and you get stuff. Let's see here. One oil change. Second oil change. Let's see, this is brand new distributor cap. Yes. Spark plugs. Yes, gotta have spark plugs. A Wix XP filter. Now I have a regular Wix filter I'm going to put on first for the the break-in period. But then this one's the one that goes on when I drive the car. What is this? Brand new plug wires. Now let's see how much of this we can get put on. And one thing that always seems to get people, myself included, is distributors and getting them in the right spot. Now I was looking in the book, and here in the book it shows the number one cylinder off to the side. There's the front of the motor. And so I'm looking at this and I put it all in. I install it. I get this pointing directly towards number one at top dead center. It's not quite there right this second. Then I put the cap on the only place it'll fit. And there's number one pointing straight forward. And I'm thinking, well, that's not right. Who's wrong, the book or the distributor? And then I realized, well, the book's not wrong. The distributor's not wrong. I'm the one that's wrong. Check this out. Now everything agrees. Now I tighten that thing down. I mean, you can do stuff like this and just drive yourself nuts trying to start an engine. You can be 180 degrees out, so when you're on the compression stroke, it's clear up here instead of down here. You can do all kinds of things. But I believe I now have the distributor in correctly, so we can finish putting that together. That does not fit. They sent me the wrong part. I'll have to go back and get the right part. This is the wrong part. So this goes in, back in. It worked before, so it should work this time. This appears to be the correct part. And there's number one. Let's get it in place. And I'm missing the clip on this side. I think I was missing that before. I'm gonna have to come up with a clip. No, I'm gonna have to get this base piece because it's broken. All right, so that goes on my list. Get the base piece and the correct rotor. So let's write that on our list. Get the old nasty Fram filter off of there. And we'll get a nice little wick one here, put a little oil on there, and that seal. Nice new filter on there. Now I did some research, and when it comes to filters, Wix seems to be, of the ones that are easily available, to be one of the better ones. The XP or whatever it is, Wix filter seems to be the best. However, this one's only going to last about 2 to 4 hours, and I'm going to be throwing it away. So I didn't get the really fancy one. I just got the regular one. So we got a good filter on there. So let's do spark plugs first. That's going to be one nice thing about this car. You're going to be able to just walk up to the side of it and work on it, to change plugs or wires or whatever. fingers, because you don't want to cross thread them. You go in easy with your fingers, then you got it right. These come pre-gapped. And I know I should check, but I have checked 100 times changing plugs, and every time they're set just right. So I'm going to have faith that the 101st time they're going to be set right. Watch it come back to bite me. I'll have one that's just grounded out, and I'll have this mess, and I'm going, what's going on? I doubt it. This thing's going to run smooth. It ran smooth when I pulled it out of the truck. I suspect it'll run smooth now, because I've only done things to make it better. There we go. Let's make a list. Got to get a fuel pump. I have to finish installing the dipstick. The oil pressure sensor goes right here. This cover's got to get all of its bolts and gaskets and get bolted on nice and snug. Got to get breathers on this. I believe that'll fix up this side of the motor. Let's take a look at the other side of the motor. Well, I have to clean up and paint this guy. This is the vibration damper, and this is the water pump pulley that I powder coated. That's got to go on here. That's all got to go on the front of the motor. Now, of course, I've got to do the radiator and the radiator hoses, and I have to make a loop from this heater hose down to this heater hose so that the water just recirculates. I got to get the carburetor on it, get that hooked up to the fuel pump on the other side of the motor. I have to make sense out of this vacuum tree. I may just for now eliminate it, but hang on to it. And then there's the carburetor base plate that used to be for EGR, and I can't seem to find a spacer. So I'm going to have to modify that spacer to work with my application without the EGR valve on it. And you can see I've got to put all the bolts in. If you look here, you can see bolt holes all along here that hold the manifolds on. But I've got a small problem. You see, I'm doing something with this engine that wasn't meant to be done from the factory. These two manifolds here on the bottom for the exhaust that makes it dual exhaust, yeah, that wasn't done from the factory with carburation. They only did that with the fuel injection intake manifold. And if you remember correctly, when I pulled this apart, there was the exhaust manifold was all one piece, and it bolted to that, and it also had eyes that bolts went through, like right up here. You see that eye right there where a bolt can go through? Well, there's no bolt hole there because this is not a fuel injection head. And then there is one here that the bolt went through. That worked out fine, but most of them are missing. So the problem that guys have when they do this is the exhaust manifolds from the weight of the exhaust tend to migrate downward and end up having exhaust leaks. So there's got to be a way to fix that. I'm part of a couple of different Facebook groups, and I go to forums and stuff on these problems because I could figure something out on this. I could invent something that would work. I'm certain of that. But why reinvent the wheel when somebody's already invented it? This is not a problem unique to me. I know this has been a problem before for other guys, and they've come up with a solution. So I think I'll find out what they're doing, see if I want to do it, and I'll let you know what I discover on the other end of it in a future video when I get it all figured out and make one and whatever it is, or get whatever I need, and I'll explain what I did. Another thing I need to do is hook up the transmission coolant lines to each other so that that doesn't spray everywhere when I start the engine. That'd be ugly. So we got some things to do. We'll get this punch list made and get it punched out, and then we'll see where we're at. So for today, it's not ready to start, but boy, we're getting closer. I'm getting anxious. Now I want to thank everybody for watching this, putting up with me and my silliness and you know, not really knowing what I'm doing and all that kind of stuff. But if you enjoy watching somebody like me just banging around in a shop with tools, I'm no mechanic. This is not what to do. This is just what I'm doing. You do what you think is right, because I'm probably wrong. I know it. It's just the way it works. And so I'm going to do everything wrong, and the thing's going to run anyway, and despite me. And I'm going to have fun with it. And you're welcome to come along. So like and subscribe. And remember, do a little bit every day, because a lot of littles, you know, they make a big. And one day there'll be a big engine start. And that'll be fun. This thing will make noise. It'll shoot fire out of the side of it. It'll be fun. We'll see what we can do. Look forward to it. Have a great day. See you next time. Bye.